The sovereign state of New York is many things. It's the gleaming sparks of mountain rising through the mists of twilight. It's a fisherman surf casting off Montauk Point. It's high above the Catskills where Washington Irving's legendary Rip Van Winkle hunted squirrels, drank of a potent brew, and slept for 20 years. It can be Coney Island on a Sunday afternoon with 1.5 million people on the beach. Count 'em. It can be workmen at Niagara, making way for better tomorrows. It can be the thrill of bobsledding at Lake Placid, the construction of a new carrier at Brooklyn Navy Yard, a visit to the United Nations. New York can be all of these. It can be the memory of a campus far above Cayuga's waters, the excitement of a gay evening in Times Square, an afternoon in the country. Yes, New York can be many things. An escape from boredom, the joy of competition, the happy reflection we gain from a study of its history, our first acquaintance with the explorations of Henry Hudson and Samuel de Champlain. Retracing Hudson's entrance into New York Harbor by air, we get some slight idea of the emotions that must have been his when he first sighted the shore of what he came to know as Manhattan.
This is a very good land to fall with. It is pleasant with grass and flowers, and goodly trees as ever seen.
To Henry Hudson, his Manhattan was a land of promise. How prophetic his words these 350 years later. What excitement would fill his mind if he were to see the forest of tall buildings that replaced his forest of trees. What astonishment would be his if he could behold the transitions that made his river into the world's largest channel of commerce. Pleasant memories these of an honored explorer. And pleasant, too, the memories that envelop Lake Champlain as it might have appeared to the famous French explorer after whom it is named. Champlain discovered this beautiful lake in the same summer of 1609. In fact, his expedition moving southward, and that of Hudson's at its northernmost anchorage, were but 100 miles apart. On a bluff above the lake stands Fort Ticonderoga, an embattled site of history, near which Champlain fought and defeated the Iroquois Indians, a victory that lost to France the friendship of this powerful tribe of warriors. Ticonderoga was to be the center of memorable battles that swirled about its staunch fortifications. Here, and at Fort Niagara, the flags of France, Great Britain, and the United States, flying in the breeze of freedom, marked these battlegrounds of history. Hudson and Champlain will not be forgotten, nor will Giovanni de Verrazzano, courageous Italian explorer. In April of 1524, Verrazzano, on a voyage of exploration, sighted New York Harbor and drew a map of what he called its great wide-mouthed river. A valiant explorer, Verrazzano, and destined with Hudson and Champlain to be an inseparable part of New York's beginning, as are the men and women who followed in the early years of discovery.
We will trade along the Hudson in the wilderness and cold, and the ship shall crowd the harbor with our fortunes in their hold. To the dockside from the farmland, to the new world from the old.
Their rude settlements became villages. Villages became towns. towns became cities. And with the growth came the need for faster and better transportation of people and goods. The need was answered when the Erie Canal, running from Buffalo to Albany, was completed in 1825. It opened new avenues of prosperity, bringing the harvests of the fertile western states to eastern markets, and transporting to the west the flood of European immigration that sought new hope and new homes in its fast-growing area. They dotted the turnpikes, the canals, the riverways across the state. Small factories grew to larger ones, and successively to vast industrial centers manufacturing tremendous quantities of products. As these factories increased in number, the need for people to work them grew rapidly. Craftsmen came from countries across the world to ply their traditional skills. Among them, the rug makers that came to Amsterdam and brought their exceptional talents to the manufacture of carpeting.